Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cyclocross Social podcast. Today I'm here with Issam and Twan.
Hello.
Hey everybody.
Usually we don't take a look ahead at Ethias Cross races, but as Lokeren is the first cross of the season, we will be making a short preview for this race. In Lokeren we are racing on the same parcours as last year with the Mont Henri in it. A technical uphill and a technical downhill is what we remember this course for. Also a small sand pit and for the rest quite some sections through the forest. It looks to be raining this weekend, so that could be interesting. As it's the first race of the season, it's a bit of a guess who is where in terms of their form levels, but nevertheless, Twan and Issam, who do you guys think will be the best here in the opening weekend?
I think for the men's over the past seasons, Iserbyt has shown that he has started quite quickly and in quite nice form. So I think he should definitely be up there, as of course it is for one of his main rivals throughout the season, Toon Aerts. And for the women's, I think it will be a bit more of an open race.
Yeah, I can only agree with that. I mean, it's obviously difficult, especially such first race. Who is coming out of it very sharp. But in my opinion, I think we can look maybe at a scenario what would be the same as last year. Obviously, that was also a bit different with COVID at that time. That was a little bit more intervening with the program of some of the riders, but we will see. It will be interesting to watch and see what's gonna happen.
Well, maybe it's useful to look at the start list. The names you shouldn't be looking for are the riders who are still on the road. Tim Merlier, Vermeers, of course, Vandeputte, Pidcock, Van Aert. But outside of the riders who are still on the road, basically everyone is there. Aerts, Iserbyt, Vanthourenhout, Sweeck, Van der Haar, Soete Bastaans, Dieter Sweeck, Jens Adams, and then some other guys, Niels van der Putte, Toon van den Bosch, Tom Meeuwse. Basically everyone is there. Personally, I reckon Toon Aerts will be good here. The course does suit him. There's a fair bit of climbing in it. Iserbyt will have the advantage that he is smaller and is therefore better suited to the tight corners that are in this parcours. But especially with the rain, I do expect Toon Aerts to slightly hold an edge over Iserbyt. But fingers crossed, we could be in for a close battle here. I'm also wondering what you guys think of Michael Vanthourenhout and Laurens Sweeck. These are two riders who both had phases in which they were pretty strong last season. What do you guys reckon for the opening weekend?
I think personally that Vanthourenhout and especially Sweeck, I think Vanthourenhout is gonna maybe struggle a little bit, especially in the beginning of the season. I think this is definitely also with the rain, it can be more a Laurens Sweeck parcours. So for Sweeck, it's gonna be interesting to see if he's gonna actually be able to follow the likes of Iserbyt and Toon Aerts, which we expect to be there. And with Van Torenhout, it's a bit of a guess. You never know really with him if he actually is going to pick the good moments that he had from last season and going to do that more often this season, or that he's gonna be a little bit inconsistent as he was last season in a way. So it's a bit finger crossed for Van Toornaut. And for Sweeck, I have a little bit more faith that he's gonna be in good condition and gonna be up there, maybe fighting for a podium or a win.
Yeah, I think neither of them are gonna particularly come into the season on bad form because, of course, they got those races in the USA for the World Cup, and if you want to actually make a bid at the World Cup title at the end of the season, you have to take advantage of these races in the USA to take a big advantage over some of the other people that aren't here, and that could be challenging, like Van Aert, like Van der Poel, and Pidcock, especially. So both of them are going to be in okay form, but probably just going to get into the rhythm and get the good feeling of cyclocross back.
But on the other hand, it's still a month until we have those races in the USA. There's still plenty of time to get in a rhythm. Perhaps this is about the time where you want that very hard training. After that, you can take a rest to be in perfect condition for those ones in the USA. And certainly, we shouldn't forget that just the first race, we usually see some riders struggling to get in a rhythm and basically commit to that change from tarmac to loose surface.
Yeah, it's always an interesting one, right? Because you're not only changing surface, but you're also changing a rhythm in a way. Because a road race, you're gonna be riding for like 3-4 hours maybe. At for most of it, a pretty low intensity whilst you just are chilling in the peloton. Whereas cyclocross is just full gas from minute 1 to minute like 59, whatever the length of the cross is going to be, and there's no backing off at any point, basically.
Yeah, I think, and it's as well, what are your goals? Like, if you're aiming to be a little bit better in the more busier period of the season, you're not gonna be here like in the first few races with a lot of interval training and a lot of high intensity training to be good now. You want to be good later, so you're gonna be probably train more in long duration and longer training in a way, and that's what you do obviously on the road. So you're probably gonna see them, the guys that really trained for a longer period and don't really want to be good at the moment. You're gonna see the difference between those, and it definitely is not gonna make or break your season if you're gonna be winning or being outside of the top 10 here in Lokeren.
Definitely, Aerts is also one of those riders who usually struggles with that change of rhythm. He always has a pretty tough opening race of the season. It's been for that like the past 4 or 5 seasons. He has been improving slightly in his first race though. Last year he got second here, but that was 50 seconds behind Iserbyt. But after that he won, I think, 2 or 3 races in a row. I think for this year, we already just mentioned the World Cup. This year it will really be for those riders who do go to the United States. We have those 3 races there, and then after that, immediately when they come back, we have another week of racing in Zonhoven, and after that Overijse. That's all in October, whilst we only expect the road riders to come into the field somewhere in November around Tabor or Kokzijde. So that will definitely be something interesting. Something else that might be interesting as last thing for the men's race. Last year, Toon Vandenbosch got 5th in this race. What do you guys expect from him?
Yeah, I expect Toon Vandenbosch in the top 10 again, to be honest. I think last year we saw some glimpse of him being very good, but we also saw some glimpse that he is not on the level, for example, the Ryan Kamp or Ronhaar. I think it's going to be interesting this season, and especially I think these kind of races are going to be suiting him a little bit more. Is races with a little bit less interest in a way. We have to be honest; it's only in Ethias, so and I think the parkour is suiting him a little bit. So it might be that we're going to see a very good Toon Vandenbosch, and I think for the whole season it will be interesting to see if he can maintain a good results in a way over the whole season.
Yeah, I think these are the kind of days that Toon Vandenbosch has to make an impression on the leadership at Paul Sauce, for example, and especially on the rest of the world as well, of course. And then hope that he can make a step throughout the rest of the season and keep some nice results going.
Well, then I think we should make some predictions for the podium. Who are you guys reckoning?
This is difficult, especially for a start of a season, but I think I will go with Iserbyt. I think he will be strong, so I expect him to win, and then probably let's say Toon Aerts second, and then Sweeck third.
I will also be going with an Iserbyt victory ahead of Lars van der Haar and Daan Soete. Yeah, just some different riders in there. Maybe they have a nice start to the season.
Well, I expect Toon Aerts to be winning in front of Iserbyt, and then in third place Niels Vandeputte. Well, on to the women's race then, where at the men's race almost all cyclocross riders are there. In the women's category we see some names missing. The riders who are at the start are Betsema, Bakker, Kastelein, Kay, Van der Heijden, Van Alphen, Van Empel, Van Looy, Frank, Ribeirol, Cels. Those are basically the main names here at the start. Is Denise Betsema the big favorite here, or should she keep other riders seriously in the back of her head when she's at the start here?
I would assume that Betsema isn't on crazy form yet, and I think like for most of these people, they're like easily coming into the season. She, of course, has the sponsor like who is here organizing the race, so there's a bit more pressure maybe, but I think it's still very easy to not win this race, as there is just some very decent women at the start line still who can make a very tough time for her.
Don't forget, last year she only finished 4th here. It was Aniek van Alphen who actually won in front of Manon Bakker and Lucinda Brandt, Betsema coming 4th, more than a minute behind. That was quite a surprising result. Issam, do you think Bakker and Van Alphen could surprise Betsema again this year?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me this time if they would actually be able to bring up the fight to Betsema, but it's gonna be difficult in a way. I think Betsema is gonna be good. I think Betsema is gonna be starting well this season, and it's obviously gonna be interesting to see who's gonna be able to bring up the fight. But I would maybe look a little bit more to maybe a Van Empel.
Van Empel, of course, the U23 World Champion of last year. Twan, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of challengers, and I think Van Empel, if she's on good form, is definitely one of the main ones. As I said, a lot of women that can make it quite tough for Denise Betsema. She's certainly one of them.
Personally, I think that Manon Bakker will be the most dangerous rider to oppose Betsema here. I think Inge van Heijden and Anna Kay are good riders, but they are more suited to a dry course. There looks to be a lot of rain coming on the race day, so I guess that will mean they will struggle. Still see them ending in the top 10. And then about Jara Kastelein, I think this course is too technical for her.
Technique always a topic of discussion when you talk about Jara Kastelein, isn't it?
Yeah, I hope she had a whole summer to practice, so I hope we're gonna see some improvements, but I highly doubt it. But you never know.
And that is what we say every year, yes.
Yeah, we said that in our preview. Every year you say, okay, rider X, Y, and Z should try and improve their technique, but the only one who actually listened to it was Brandt, and look where Brandt is now, so I guess hard work does pay off.
Yeah, of course, a lot of help from some of the greatest in the sport.
It's with the technical parts, it's not it's not that you cannot learn it. Obviously, you need to have some kind of abilities like within yourself already that you're able to do that, some sort of control. But you can definitely learn, being able to handle a bike and several technical stuff, especially in cyclocross. You have so many parts that you can do. So it's definitely something you can work on, and it's just a shame to see that you have a whole summer to work on it, and then we go into the winter and seems like they didn't do much. So maybe it's harsh, but it is how I look at it at the moment.
Anyway, time for some podium predictions. Come on.
I would like to go with a Fem van Empel victory ahead of Jara Kastelein and Manon Bakker.
Not gonna lie, I was thinking about Van Empel, but now because Twan picked it, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna say then Denise Betsema winning. Bit of a boring victory maybe, but I think Betsema in front of Bakker, and then maybe Van Empel in third.
And Issam, will your curse be gone this year? Because last year, week after week, you just cursed riders.
I hope so, but yeah, we will see in Lokeren, and from there on we can work on if it really is a curse or not. So.
Okay, so if I was Betsema, I would start shitting myself already now.
Yeah, somewhere, yeah.
Anyway, I am going to go for a podium of Manon Bakker in front of Denise Betsema, and in third place, Fem van Empel. Last thing I would like to note before we round off this episode of the Cyclocross Social podcast is that it's very good to see the youth categories back in the program. Juniors and newcomers are racing here. Last season, their entire season got wiped out basically. I think they only had 3 or 4 races, which was really sad to see. But luckily now they are back in the program and they are allowed to do some racing. So that's definitely something for them to look forward to and for our talent spotting eye to keep an eye on as well. Anyway, Twan and Issam, thank you for joining me in this preview of the first race of the season, the Ethias Cross in Lokeren.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, pleasure. Looking forward to that race.
Thanks everyone for listening. If you're wondering where to watch the Ethias Cross in Lokeren, make sure to check our website cyclocross.social.com/live and you will find it all there. Or follow us on Instagram, cyclocross with 3 S's at the end. Thanks you for listening, and I will catch you guys after the Ethias Cross in Lokeren. Goodbye.